Alright traders, I am back again with another video and just want to tell you quickly about the live online Ichimoku time theory course, which will be starting Monday, July 24th at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is a 2-week live online Ichimoku theory course, and as I said, it starts Monday, July 24th at 5 p.m. daily, so we'll have this every day. In order to attend this, you got to become a lifetime member before Monday by visiting www.fxatOneglance.com/memberships, and once you do that, you'll be able to have access to these daily sessions for the next 2 weeks. Plus you'll have access to everything on my site, and if you join after Monday, you'll still be able to take the course and see everything online. Okay, but I want to talk about a trade that I took this week, so I'm going to go over a couple things really quickly. We're going to go over some time theory stuff really quickly, but it's so complex and so more to delve into than what I'm getting ready to show you here. So basically I broke this market up. This is the Aussie CAD I was looking at, and I just was breaking it up because what you try to find with Ichimoku is basically when we trade Ichimoku, most traders are worried about the price axis, which is the up and down levels here. So when a trader looks at the market, he looks at the up and down levels most of the time. But when you start trading Ichimoku, you got to get used to this horizontal axis. So we're usually looking at the vertical axis, where we need to start understanding and learning more about the vertical axis, because time is very important with Ichimoku. Time is very important with the markets. Gann also believed the same things pretty much as Ichimoku. So when you start finding that you could see these times, and with Ichimoku there's going to be 10 basic values that you look for as far as time, and the three main ones are 9, 17, and 26, but those are basically based off of your Ichimoku cloud concepts, basically with your Tenkan-sen, your Kijun-sen, and your span A. So that's where you get those numbers from, basically, and then you have 7 more other numbers that are very important. Then it could go on and further on. But then you start looking at these numbers and then you try to figure out where the market is going to turn, where the market is going to find support or resistance, and start to see things as two Ichimoku numbers, and then again 2 other Ichimoku numbers together. Well, once you start seeing these patterns and you start looking at the market and you look at support and resistance and where you trade and what your levels are, because when we trade LST, which is level, signal, and then trigger. So always we look for that level, and then when we see that level line up with a time, as far as based on a day, one of the bar numbers that we're looking for, so if it was 16 or 26 and we see that level hit that, we see the market hit that level at that day, at that bar, and then we start to know that maybe there's going to be a change in direction with the market. We know that there's a good opportunity to get into a trade. That gives us more confirmation. All right. And then when you get really good, if you really understand this real thorough and you get really into it, then you can start looking at trades and you'll know what day to trade, and you'll set your trade up based off of the day, the time, and that kind of analysis, and then you'll start taking your trades. Now you have to be very skilled to do that, and you have to really trust in your system, and you have to really know everything. So when we go through this theory course, it's going to be featuring the time, wave, and price projection theories. So most traders here in the States don't even trade Ichimoku's full concept, so they don't even use these theories. Right? They just use basically the 5 lines and TK crossover and Kumo breakouts and stuff like that. But you could get so much stronger if you add these theories in there, and you have so much more confirmation. So with Ichimoku, when I'm looking at this chart, this US dollar yen chart, you could see I'm trying to find the past to predict the future. So past prices can predict the future prices. All right. So therefore, that helps me to understand where the market may turn, where I may see the market move, where I could look at a support and resistance level. So if I had a level where this was here sitting on my Kijun-sen, or sitting on the cloud, or any support level that I couldn't have, and I saw that it lined up with one of my numerical values, that would give me strength in my trade. That would give me more confidence in my trade. That would be like a confirmation for me. All right. So that's where we start to use these numbers and how to understand using the time analysis. Now that's just a little basic concept of it, because when you get deeper into it, you're going to add waves into it. And then those waves, when those waves form, you'll be able to know how to, like if we look at this here. All right, so let me show you really quickly. Basically, if we were looking at a wave and we had another leg here, we'd be looking at an N wave, and then we'd look for where that day, what day that market's going to close. And the way we do that is by time, looking at time projections and looking at what price did in the past to predict the future. All right, so it's basically what Goichi Hosada has done for over 4 years, using a bunch of his students to help him to calculate these numbers, and then finally he put these numbers out to the world. And now you could see that's what we're trying to do, use Ichimoku and use it to its fullest advantage, not just the 5 lines that you see here, that you see traded all the time, because that's just a basic concept. So let me show you this trade that I got into. Alrighty, so we're looking at the Aussie yen on the daily time frame. This was a daily time frame trade. Basically, when you're using these theories, it's best to set up everything and all your analysis based off of the daily time frame. Alright, so analysis on Ichimoku could take you quite a while if you're going to sit around and do the whole thing and set up everything. So sometime once you get these dates and everything set in, then you don't have to worry for a little while. You could watch and see what price does, and then see if price hits your date. And basically what you're looking for is what we call Henka B, which is the day of change. Okay, and then you're going to have Kian Suchi, which is the basic numerical values that we would be using. So there's 10 numerical values, but the main numerical values are going to be 9, 17, and 26. And then what I'm looking here down here is called Taro Sochi, because I'm looking for equality in numbers. Okay, so there's some different things I'm doing on the chart, but this chart is used for training purposes and for showing traders how to understand how to look at the time past and bring it into the future and use that for your reference. But when I was looking at this trade setup, everything came off of basic Ichimoku, but then I looked for my targets off of wave patterns, but I used price projection theory to find my target. All right, so I'm going to show you what the market looks like it was doing at this time. All right, so we're starting with this leg here. We're going to be looking at this leg because I'm going to show you where I got into my trade. Okay, so the market broke through the cloud here. I didn't get into this Kumo breakout here, but that was a good breakout there on that daily time frame. But then price came back to the Tenkan-sen here, this green line. That's where you're always going to be looking for a lot of your trades, off of the Tenkan-sen. In a strong trend, you're going to look for bounces off of the Tenkan-sen, and this was a pretty nice trend. So you had a couple bounces off of Tenkan-sen, but you want to see price action to get into the trades. All right, so basically I had a nice price action entry right here, and this is where I took my trade. Let me circle this. Took my trade here based off of this price action pattern that we're looking at, and then I traded this to the very top, and let me show you why I traded it to the top and how I found my target to get out of the trade right where I did. All right, so let's draw some lines here first. So the market said here, and then here to the top, and then from there we went down to here, little pullback, and then from there up to this point. So we had an N wave right there, right? That was a nice N wave. Now just off of that there you could find your target. Let's see what the target sets up as. So if you set that up, you will be looking at 1, 2, 3. Now if you got into a trade anywhere in this area here, you would be looking for your target, and your target will be your Ichimoku N value, which is going to be this level right here. It's a 1-to-1 ratio right here where you see it marked 1. It would be 87.152. That's a 1-to-1 ratio because that means this leg here, which is AB, equals CD, 1, 2, 3, 4. Same pattern you guys know. So a lot of you probably have been doing this and didn't even know that it was part of Ichimoku concept. It's one of the concepts. Okay, so this is finding our targets. So I didn't take this trade. I didn't get into this trade, but if you took this trade, that's how you find your targets. Now you always want to get past this pivot point here. All right, so this is a bull fractal. We always want to get past that level. And then if we get past that level, we start shooting for our one-to-one target. So your one-to-one target is right here. This is your NT level at the point 86.906 level, and then this is your N level at 87.152. all right, and then this would be your V level at 87.899, and then your E level at 89.217. Overall, this market hit the very top E level and started to fall. All right, so if you would have taken your trade here, you would have known where your targets were to get out of this trade, to take profit, or to take some of your profit and let it run, or whatever you were going to do. Now a good thing would be you never close below Tenkan-sen. So even on the pullback here, depending on how many lots you were using, if you were using enough lots, you could have let some of this run and continue to move, and you would have made it up to your E level here. All right, but that's not where I got into the trade. All right, so let's look at where I was looking at getting into the trade. So I got into the trade on the close right here. This is my entry here. I had my stop loss below this fractal here. Once this candle closed, this became my fractal level, so I had my stop loss there, but I always keep my stop loss below the fractal level, Tenkan-sen, or Kijun-sen. Sometimes I use the cloud or whatever, depending on where the trade is taken. So I use whatever Ichimoku allows me to use for stop losses, and I also add fractals in there. All right, but I got into the market here. So where was I looking to get out the trade? So let's add some more legs to this, and then I'm going to show you why and where I got out of the trade. And I didn't have to do much work because this lined up perfectly for me. And so that's another wave. So you could see the market moving in these N waves. All right. So this is just an I wave, and then an I wave with another I wave is a V leg, a V wave, and then you put another leg, you got an N wave, and then you have continuously moving N waves. All right. So when I got into the market here, looking for my target up here for profit, let me put my fib expansion tool here. Now I have these fib expansion tools set for the Ichimoku values already. So therefore I already know where they're going to show when I put it on here. And so I put this on here, and then when I got into the trade, once the market hit this level right here at that one level, that's the 1-to-1 ratio at 88.938, I'm out of the trade. All right, I got out of the trade, and 235 pip trade, and just based off of using Ichimoku price projection values, that's how I found my target. All right, the trade entry was pretty basic, bouncing off of Tenkan-sen, price action setup. So I had my L, my S, and a T. So when we trade, the things that I try to teach people, don't take your trade until you have all three things. You have your level, your signal, and your trigger. So we teach the signals and the triggers, and the levels are pretty easy. I mean, in Ichimoku, they could be all the Ichimoku lines that you have: the cloud, top of the cloud, bottom of the cloud, your Tenkan-sen, your Kijun-sen. Those are going to be your main Ichimoku levels. So those are where you're going to look for trades. So that's going to be level. And then also you have your horizontal support levels. Those are going to be levels that you look for your trade. It could be a moving average, so those are going to be levels. So you're always going to look at it for a trade at a level. Once you have the level, you need the signal and the trigger to get into the trade. So we talk about signals and triggers, but it's all price action stuff to get into the trade after that. Ichimoku doesn't exactly tell us how to get into the trade. It just tells us where we want to be getting into the trade, okay? So if I just trade basic Ichimoku, I could say I'm going to put an entry level here and put stop loss way down here, but I have no purpose to get into the trade. Based off of price action, I wouldn't have a purpose. I would just get into the trade based off of a level. But I don't want to just get into the trade based off of a level. I want to see something to confirm maybe I'm getting a move to the upside, something to show me that we're bouncing off of the level. So therefore, I wait for the close of the candle above my signal. and then I get my trigger, and then we're in the trade. All right. So therefore, there's so many different ways to trade, and depending on what your style is, if you're an aggressive trader, or you don't trade with a stop loss, that's you. But if you're an aggressive trader, sometime like in Ichimoku, you don't really, if you don't even trade with price action, and you trade these levels, and you trade the time theory with nothing else, then you're going to have big stop losses, which is going to be a little bit harder. Okay, so I kind of leave that kind of stuff to people that been doing this for many years. I've been doing it for a very long time. All right, so for doing it for as long as I have been doing it, I still like to have price action to enter the trade. I don't like to just enter a trade off of level. So I always want a LST. All right, and that's how I get into a trade. It's a higher probability trade than just having a level. So I've found that out through research and continuing to trade this certain ways. I realized that I had a higher winning percentage when I had a higher probability trade set up based off of LST. So those are the things that you do. We teach all this stuff in the courses. We're getting to the deep part with Ichimoku now. So Monday we're going to start doing our live theories course, and that's going to be a 2-week course. It's going to cover the time wave and price projections. You'll learn some basic Ichimoku because we're going to cover a little bit of concepts basic in the beginning. But if you really want to learn total Ichimoku, I still also have my regular Ichimoku course, and it covers every single thing. It covers Ichimoku, it covers price action, it covers divergence, it covers everything that you could think of here, multiple time frame analysis. And then once you take that whole course, you'll understand everything that I'm talking about and try to show you on the YouTube videos and the courses. And when we're talking about things in the chat room or in the forum, everyone understands what we're talking about because we're all on the same page, because we're all looking at the same thing, looking for the same things, and our trade setups are higher probabilities. All right, so that's what we want to do, is put ourselves in a high probability trade setup, and that's the best we could do. All right, but that's what we're looking at, the Aussie yen. That's the trade setup that I wanted to show you guys. I'm going to be doing my live market open live at 5 on Sunday, so we'll have that also going on. So we're going to be quite busy this coming week, so we're going to be doing a lot of stuff. Every day we'll be in the webinar sessions Monday through Friday for the next 2 weeks, live at 5 with the course. And once the course is done, I'll put it online, and members who missed the online course live can just view it regularly online and be able to take the course. All right, guys, so that's going to be it. I'm done. Hopefully this helped you out a little bit, show you that when you're in a strong trend, guys, you get the TK crossover and you're in a strong trend, the price shouldn't really close below the Kijun-sen. Maybe that below the Tenkan-sen, sorry. Maybe that first time you may get a close below Tenkan-sen because you get into that TK zone, but after that, price stays above that Kijun-sen, that Tenkan-sen level. And then once you see price close, because what you have here is short term, mid term, long term. All right, so you don't get this crossover till this is the long term signal. All right, this is the short term signal. So short term, you got a strong market moving to the upside. If that market gets weak and falls to the downside, when it gets to Kijun-sen, it's still midterm. All right, it's still a medium strength market. It's the midterm market. It's longer than the short term, but you still have a market that you can look at and say this is midterm now, and then long term here. All right. So hopefully that helps you out. There's so many concepts with Ichimoku. Ichimoku gives you everything. I don't think you really need anything else, really. I use fractals pretty much. So fractals are involved with price action. So I keep fractals on my charts, use them a lot for so many different things. Entries, stop loss, targets, whatever. Fractals are very good. All right. But that's going to be it, guys. I am truly done now. So hopefully this helped you out. And again, I'm offering this lifetime membership for lifetime. So come on over to my site, www.fxatOneGlance.com/memberships, and become a member. And after you become a member, you can take all my courses. You can do whatever you need to do. You can learn anything you want from me, and I'll be there to help you out. And got tons of videos on my site. Got a big forum, got a big chat room. Got a lot of things to help you out to become successful. Hopefully it would help you to become successful. I have so many members that have already told me that this has helped them and helped them become successful. So let that also be you too. All right, guys, have a great one. Till next time, God bless. So long.